Okay. So, okay, hello and welcome. And
Thank you.
yeah,
Hi.
yes, hello everyone. I have a very special guest with me today. Someone been with us for a very long time now, Maureen Martin. So, Maureen, if you would please introduce yourself, your company, and what you do.
I'm Maureen Martin, and I am a residential mortgage loan officer, and I work with HomePlus Mortgage, but my corporation is San Diego Home Lenders.
Awesome, awesome. Okay. And when did you start your company? How did you get involved with that?
Well, I started back in '98, but I don't look a day over 24, right? Just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm just teasing. I started back in '98 in the mortgage industry. I got my real estate license that was needed back then. And then I started working for family, moved to San Diego, started doing that. And then just kind of always realized that I didn't want to work for the man. So I was always really striving to do it myself, figure out the best way to do it, own my own company, do all that. And so that's kind of through the years, it's been 22 years now that I'm working on that
Wow.
I've been in the business. So
Got it. So 22 years and 98, you started as a loan officer?
I did. I
Or
started
just
just as a loan officer, and
awesome.
that's all I've ever been.
Wow.
All I ever need
And
to be.
yeah, got it. And so sorry, there's some noise in the background. What was going on in your business when you contacted us? What you're changing internet service providers, internet marketing?
I've always known, I say always, from early 2000s, I've just always known that SEO is the thing.
Yeah.
I'm not a tech person. I'm really not into that stuff, but I just knew, and I started investigating that early on. I want to say I started kind of really looking into that around 2003, 2004. And it
Wow.
was really expensive then to do any sort of SEO. I remember going and meeting a company up in me, and they were going to charge me. It was just a bunch of kids too running it. I remember going in, I'm like, what? And they wanted to charge me like $8,000 a month to do
Wow.
it. So I didn't do that because I just didn't, I don't know. I just didn't do it. But as I continued going, I did something, I started doing stuff like with kudzu. I don't know if you heard about kudzu.
I
They
remember.
tried to
Yeah.
be big in the San Diego market, but it turns out it's Cox Communication, I believe.
Mm.
Turns out they ended up going back to Atlanta, but they were good for a minute. I want to say it was 2008, 2009. I was paying them. And I remember I paid them like nothing in 2008. And then 2009, they came and they're like, we just tripled the payment. They realized, that the benefit that was going on with what the value that they were
Right.
giving. And it's true. My phones just rang. And I remember I went to go work for a company after the meltdown kind of happened in 2008. And I did acquiesce a little bit then. And I for a direct lender instead of doing it myself, because I just kind of wanted to be part of kind of what, the solution instead of getting out of the business or anything. And I remember that company was really against SEO. The company I was working for, they were like, no, that's not the way. The only way to do it is through realtors. And I mean, I agree, realtors, but I'm all about diversifying personally.
Yeah.
And so, but my ringing, and then I started getting like tons of leads on Yelp, and kudzu kind of went away and like Yelp took over basically. So Yelp was kind of my new thing. And then I just knew as I continued to get the reviews, I'm like, I need to be autonomous. I need to be doing this on my own as well as Yelp. And so
Yeah.
I did hire an SEO company at the time to do it, but I just kind of always felt like they were never really doing what they said they were going to do.
Mm.
I was quite a bit of money for them, and
Right.
I just kept going online and looking, and that's when I kept finding the company that you used to do here in
Right.
town. And I kept saying to myself, again, not tech savvy at all, I'm like, I want them. Like, who's doing that? And I didn't even realize it's like at the bottom of their website and stuff. But
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I had one of my assistants actually found you, called you, and the timing was just incredible. And I think
Right.
you remember that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Big time. So a lot was there. So you you've been doing this for a while. You knew SEO was valuable. You started working with another company. You were starting to get some Yelp leads, and then you had a company that after that was doing some SEO for you.
Mm-hmm.
And they just weren't. Your phone wasn't ringing. You knew you
It
saw
just, it
someone else
wasn't.
up
I
there,
just
and
knew, and I knew that that was the way. Like every time I'd log on, because I'd be
yeah,
like, where am I in the search? Where am I in the search? I'd log on, I'd see that one company you used to work for. And then
yeah,
I'm like on page 3. And I'm like,
yeah. That's
no,
not
I
right.
want to be, I want to be number 1. I want to be on page 1, you know? And I'm like, I got to figure out how to be on page 1. And so, I
Right.
mean, I basically, I found you. Like
Yep.
I begged you to take me on. I will never forget that.
Yep. I know. I remember.
I was in
And the timing was
Montana on
great.
vacation. I was
Yeah.
in Montana on vacation, and I'm like, please.
That's right. Yeah. So I got it. So um, so it was good timing, and this was back in sometime in 2017 or
June. It was June. I met
June
you
of
June
2017. Wow.
17.
So,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, 3 years we've been
Gosh,
together. Wow.
that's crazy. It's
And
been amazing though, Brian. Honestly,
right.
like now when we do our meetings and stuff, I mean, I'm like, I can't call, I can't talk.
Yeah, yeah. I know. It's
No
so I'll just
complaints.
create you a video. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So so at that time business, what, like, how many leads were you getting in a month before we started working
Um,
together?
I mean, it's so hard to remember,
Yeah,
really, because I kind of just go on feeling, you know. I mean, I could
right.
go back and look, but obviously, it was slow, and
Yeah.
I was taking, you know, stuff from the bottom. That's what ends up happening when you're slow.
Hmm.
You take crummy deals,
Yeah.
and then you're stressing about them, and you just, you're like, please close, and and you're dealing with
Yeah.
those type of clients, and and then plus, just working with agents, I want to work with agents that I like
Right.
personally, and how to find them. Give leads,
Yeah.
to clients. I literally just hung up when I told you, I'm like, I've got a call that I have to finish up.
Hmm.
It was a lead that I literally just gave to one of my top agents.
Oh wow.
And I mean, this is like the third one I've given her this month. I mean, you think she doesn't love me? And
Oh
she's
yeah.
never going to ask me for open house flyers. You know what I tell her when she asks
Right.
me for open house flyers? I'm not your girl for that. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just not. Like, go pay a marketing company, because I give her thousands of dollars a year in
Right.
business.
That's amazing. And so you've turned the table. I mean, like, there's mortgage professional after mortgage professional that, knocking on these realtors' doors, showing up with their business cards and, their handout. But now you've
Oh,
been able to kind of
we
switch
switched
the
the
table.
roles.
And
Oh
now,
yeah.
what has that done for you? I mean,
Well, the biggest thing is I work with people I like.
yeah.
So, like, not to use foul language, but like, I'm not anybody's bitch, and that's a lot of these agents are looking at people, and they look at loan officers as their worker. And
Mm,
I'm like, I feel like I do the hardest part of the job,
yep.
and I mean, we're a team. We're a
Nice.
team. We're a cohesive team. So
Amazing.
my little dog, and I work from home,
Yeah.
my little dog right here. But so the fact that I can work with people that I really like, there's
Yeah.
nothing worse than being in a stressful situation, because it's loans and stressful situations come up, and having an agent freak out on you
Mm,
because they don't know how to keep themselves calm, and you just aren't really connected with them.
right.
That's awful. You know what I mean? So I want to be working with somebody that trusts me, that's not going to freak out on me. I
Yeah.
mean, it's hard enough just to, keep up with high volume, but to have people that aren't, kind to you, it's just not my thing.
Yeah, I love it. So now you're working with people that you want to work with, that treat you right,
Yes.
and yeah,
Yeah.
and
And they're not asking me to do open houses every weekend. I mean, right now with COVID, there's no open houses, but
right.
that's the thing. Like, I don't want to do open houses. My weekends are my weekends. I am super busy,
Yeah, yeah.
and I don't want to work on the weekends. I mean, I do still, but I don't want to do open houses on the weekends. I don't want to
Right.
generate business when my phones won't stop ringing. Like,
Right.
that's ridiculous to generate more business on the weekends.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Got it. Well, so I know we put a few things in place for you. So a new website, your SEO. What is going on now? Like how many leads per month are you getting? What
I
what would you
don't have
say?
my thing in front of me, but I think I told you, how many did I tell you?
I
I
think
forget.
well, you told me last week that you closed 20 deals in August.
20 deals in August. Oh, so did I tell you how many? I mean, I can go look, but I'd have to, I literally, my memory is like pretty short. But
Right.
I think it was you that I told. I went through each one of them. Was it
Yeah.
7? I think it was 7 out of 20 were
Hmm.
straight from online that were like right then, and
Right.
not just referrals or on. I mean, that's the thing, is a lot of these clients have been coming for years, like,
Yep.
because you came in when I already had traction and you
Yep.
took me to the very top. So
Hmm.
I already knew that online was the way to go. So
Yep.
so a lot of my business is generated from online over years and years and years.
Yeah.
And something to note too, I do not pay for Yelp at all.
Yeah.
So they're begging me to pay for them right now,
Right.
especially. I thought I needed to, and I just don't. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm still getting Yelp leads constantly. And I think the important thing is, to send your Yelpers to Yelp to write a
Yeah.
review, and that's all you need to do.
Yeah. Listen, I mean, we've introduced some other things, to you. We actually pulled back on some of the remarketing ads for you. We're like, please just pull back
It
whenever
was
you
too
can. Like, so
much.
let me catch up. Yeah.
And I'll even have clients call me and they'll say, "Hey, wait a minute, I just opened up my website and here's your picture." I'm like,
Right.
"Oh."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Sorry."
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, no, we needed to pull back on a lot of stuff, because I'm not even kidding you. My phone is nonstop. I mean, rates are at an all-time low, so let's
Right.
not kid ourselves. I mean, it's literally nonstop. It's
Yeah.
constant right now. So,
Amazing.
and it's for sure has to do. I even told a friend of mine who's actually working with you, I'm like, I could not have picked a better time to have started
Yep.
with you those couple years ago, or I guess it's 3 years ago now,
Yeah.
we just picked the perfect time to like ramp up and just
Hmm.
take off. Cause this is my best year that I've ever had in loans. So
Wow. So your best year ever.
my
And
best
you've
year
been doing
ever.
this for 22 years.
22 years. Yeah, it's my
Wow.
20.
It's amazing. And we're
Mm.
very happy for you.
Yeah, I really, honestly, I could not have this kind of volume. I'd still be successful, but would be where I'm at this level
Right.
without Yo. There's no way.
Yeah. So Maureen, that was awesome. What has this done for you personally? You already kind of like, how has this impacted you outside of work? You already kind of mentioned, like, inside of work, you're working with the realtors that you want to work with. You're not doing open houses, which you don't like to do, but you might
Mm-mm.
have to still work on weekends. But yeah, tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I'm popular.
Yep.
Just kidding. Well, it's true. I mean, people definitely know me in town. I mean,
Yeah.
and anybody that is doing any sort of research online for home loans in San Diego, I'm there. I pop up.
Yep.
So, funny story is I'm recently single, and I was online on a dating app, and this guy looked familiar. I don't even know what made me think he looked familiar. And I said something, and I'm like, "You look familiar." It turns out it's one of my clients, and I have no idea why I thought he looked familiar. And he was like, "Maureen, Mark," he's like, says my name. I'm like, "Oh my God, this sucks." I'm like, "Oh, hi." I'm like, I didn't even think he was so bad. I hope nobody ever. I didn't even like him, but there was something about him. He looked familiar. He stood out to me. And I said,
That
"It's
is
not your
so
driver's
funny.
license. I'm not looking at your driver's. I don't even know what it is." Now I'm like, oh, now what? How do we get out of it?
Oh man, that's
That's funny.
awesome. Okay, Maureen.
Yeah,
One last question, and I
sure.
know you're a busy woman and you got to go. And I really thank you for your time. But if there's anyone on the fence out there that is, what would you say to them about working with us?
You know what? It's the best investment. I mean, no risk, no reward, number one, but it's the
Yep.
best rate of return
Yeah.
ever. I mean, I have paid you off for the rest of the time I'm going to use you. So for the next 10 years or how much longer I have in me, you've already been paid for. So
Yeah.
for all the future bills I get from you, you've already been paid for. You can't go wrong. Where do people go and do research? Online.
Uh-huh.
Nobody's looking in the yellow pages anymore. Nobody's looking in the newspaper.
Nope.
Nobody's reading their flyers in the mail. Like, they go online, you know.
Exactly.
That's where people go. And here's the thing that I like about you more than just like, you know, Lending Tree and whatever, is so people will literally look at all my reviews and all my, you know, my videos that I've posted. I've got videos, I've got testimonial videos. They already feel like they know me.
Yeah.
You know, it's that
Yep.
perception of, you know, of familiarity, and, you know, they feel like we're friends, and they literally will call me and say, we want to work with you.
Yeah.
And it's not even rate driven, although my rates are phenomenal, but it's not even
right.
You know, so they look at it and they're like, I speak for myself without even talking to them. So,
Right.
and I just think that alone just speaks volumes. I mean, how could you really compete with that with an online guy that has no, you know, I always say to people, Google that person's name. You know, when there's competition, like, Google his name. If nothing comes up about him, that says that he's either brand.
Oh.
That was a new lead.
Yeah.
That was a new call. I'm not.
Oh, really? A new call. A new lead's calling.
On airplane load. Yeah, it was a new lead. I'm like, see?
Oh, wow.
But no, it's like, Google the name of the loan officer that you have, and trust me, anybody else that doesn't have high rankings that might be competing with me, God bless you, because that's what I say. And if you don't have any presence online, or you've got like one Zillow review, you know, it's like,
what's going on there? Yeah,
what's going on? Why isn't anybody talking about you? You either don't have experience, you're either brand new, or nobody's got anything good to say.
Right.
You know, that says a lot.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, amazing. It's been such a pleasure working with you. Our team is celebrating your success, and, you know, we're very, very happy for you.
Thanks. And thanks for the cups.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah,
I love the Yeti.
That's awesome. Like, I know they're awesome.
Who would ever think I would be into Yeti cups, but they are like my favorite. So if anybody, just a heads up, anybody that signs up will get a Yeti cup.
Yep.
they're like phenomenal for tea. So yeah. So
awesome.
Hopefully you send out Yeti cups to everybody.
I do. Yeah. Yeah. Shh, don't tell anyone. Well, thank you. And it's always a pleasure.
Yeah. Thanks for everything, Brian, though. Seriously, you guys are awesome. And you're not paying me to say this. So, I mean, and anybody that wants to confirm can go Google me.
Yep, exactly. Google a mortgage in San Diego. See what happens. Yep.
Seriously. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. That'll be me with my cheesy photo that I want to change. Well, awesome. Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
You bet. Bye-bye.
All right.